Hey, you guys, thanks for listening in to Tips with T. On today, I have John with us. John, how are you today?
I am excellent. How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm awesome. So tell us more about yourself and what you do.
So I always date back my journey and my story back to when I was 14 years old, a freshman in high school. Because right now, I'm 26, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an author. I just recently published my first book. I'm a network marketer and I've built a sales organization of about 3,000 distributors and just an entrepreneur. I like to get my hands in a lot of different businesses that I'm passionate about. But where it all began is really what matters most. And like I said, I did it back to when I was 14 years old and a freshman in high school, because in that moment, growing up, I came from a really small town, sort of a troublemaker. But when I was a freshman, I got called down to the principal's office one day. And when I walked down, I saw the superintendent, the principal, the vice principal, and I knew it must have been a big deal. And what ultimately ended up happening was a kid in our school had made a bomb threat and got the whole school put on lockdown. They found out who it was. They brought him down. And upon talking with him and having him admit everything he had done wrong while he was in our school, it came up that I'd sold him a $5 bag of weed in history class 2.5 months prior. So it sounds so ridiculous today with how far medical marijuana and all of that's come, but I was in the wrong, and I did it one time. This kid asked me if I could get him a $5 bag of weed. So I did it. And they're like, John, if you just come clean, we can work to correct this. And being 14 years old and scared out of my mind, I didn't know what to do other than trust them. So I admitted it, which resulted in me getting kicked out of school for half of the year. I had to do 200 hours of community service before I could return. And on top of that, I had to do all my tutoring hours outside of the school because they wouldn't allow me there. So for me, I remember being so disappointed in myself, feeling like a disgrace around my family, and I was moping around our house for weeks. And my mom and stepfather sat me down and said, John, look, this may feel like the end of the world right now, but you need to understand you're 14 years old. You have your entire life ahead of you. You have time to fix this. What you did was wrong, but it's not the end for you. And you can either use the situation to make you or break you. And I remember in that moment deciding that I would become successful one way or another. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I said to myself, I'm going to become successful. And at first it was really to prove everyone wrong, right? And prove everyone that I had what it took. So I get through all of that, do all my community service, and get back into school. And my idea right then was I would become a physical therapist because I saw the opportunity to earn a six-figure income. I enjoyed sports, and that was going to be my path to success. I didn't really know about entrepreneurship or creating your own business or anything like that because they don't really teach you about that in school. So I go through, do everything I have to do. When I graduate, I get into the school of my dreams, which is the University of Rhode Island. I went to orientation, enrolled in classes, told all of my friends, family, peers that I was going, and I was so excited to get out of my small town and start this path to success. And about a month before, my mom had to sit me down again and be like, John, you neglected to apply for scholarships. We don't have the money to send you there the first year. It's $50,000 for out-of-state tuition. You can't get student loans at large your first year. The best we can do is have you commute to the local community college down the street from us. And I remember again playing the victim and being so torn up by that because I was so excited to kind of like spread my wings, I guess, and get out and start my path to success. And again, I played the victim. I was so upset about this. I was lying to my friends because I was embarrassed that I couldn't afford to go to school. I was telling them they messed up something with the housing. And again, after 2 weeks of just playing the complete victim, I made another decision that I would never let finances dictate the decisions I would make the rest of my life. Again, didn't really know how I would do that. I'd been working in kitchens since I turned 16 to put gas in my car and just to have enough money to do things with my friends. So that whole year I commuted to that community college from living at home, worked in the kitchen. And that following summer is when I was introduced to my business right before I went away to actual university. And I was introduced by my mom, who's always been an entrepreneur and a real hustler. And at first I just kind of brushed it off and denied it because I didn't see how it could be for me. But then I went to school and my best friend came to me with a different network marketing business opportunity. And since it was my best friend, this is when the light bulb went off and I saw this opportunity to be my own boss, to work and travel the world, to make as much money as I was willing to put in the work for, create residual income, which is the ultimate form of freedom. And I ended up joining my friend at first. And this is when the inner entrepreneur was sparked within me. For 6 months, we were just having people into our dorm room sharing the vision of what's possible with this business. I was running out of class to get on calls to share it with people because I saw more value in that than sitting through a biology lecture, and just really going all in. And after about 6 months, I made the decision that long term it would be better to partner with the company my mom was with. So I switched over, faced a ton of adversity, a lot of doubt, a lot of just scrutiny from my peers and the people around me. And meanwhile, throughout college, I just continued to build different businesses. We started a business where we bus students off campus events. We were flipping textbooks during finals week, and I would be standing outside lecture halls offering to buy people's books as they finished their final exam. We were trading stocks, flipping sports jerseys online. And as college came to an end, and mind you, when my friend came to me with that business opportunity, I knew college and school wasn't the route for me in that corporate world, but I finished it off anyway, just because I don't like to quit things that I start. And I ended up getting my degree in applied mathematics and economics. But through my network marketing business that I was building with my mom, I'd created a residual income that was more than most of my friends were making going to the corporate world. And I decided, instead of even thinking about going that path, which I never wanted to go anyway, I decided 5 days after graduation to move to Italy, spent about 7 months traveling around Europe, went to like 20 different countries, many of them multiple times, the entire time making a residual income from my business. And after that, I came back to the States, decided to start treating it as more of a business than a side hustle. And that's when things really took off, when I really focused on my personal growth and my mindset. And from there, things just exploded. We have our organization's about 3,000 customers and distributors now. I've gone on to become a top 10 earner in our company for ages 25 and under worldwide for 3 years in a row. I just released the first book. I've invested in a few different businesses that I'm passionate about, and really just love this entrepreneur lifestyle and what I'm able to do in terms of helping others and helping others achieve a similar life for themselves.
Awesome, awesome. So, despite your challenges, I'm glad that you were able to overcome those things in life, those hurdles that life may put upon us that we think that, they're so detrimental that they affect our life and we can't achieve anything better. So I commend you on having a rough time during high school and then eventually branching out and getting your own business and starting your own and still being successful, because some people do remain a victim and let that hold them back from achieving those things that they really want to achieve out of life. So I definitely commend you on that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I feel almost as if going through those adversities are almost an advantage for an entrepreneur because it gives you that fire and that flame, and the foundation for what I like to call your why. I feel like every person that you see with huge results has just as big of a why or purpose that they're going out to achieve it. For me, it started off those selfish reasons, like I said, right? Like I wanted to prove to everyone I could be successful, that finances wouldn't dictate the decisions I made, but it's just transformed into something much larger than that. Now that I realize like the skills I've developed and the ability I have to uplift other people, and it really becomes larger than you. And the people that are succeeding on that high level have visions that are much larger than themselves.
Yeah. So tell us exactly how you started your networking business and how did you make it to be successful that it is like it is today.
Yeah, well, like I said, it all started back with my best friend in our dorm room. And for those of you who don't know how network marketing works, it's simple. It's basically um, individuals like myself partner with a company that has a product, and we go out there and build a network of customers via word of mouth advertisement. So we're out, like in the beginning when I started, we were having meetings in our dorm room pretty much every night, people coming through our dorm room, just sharing with them the vision, the products. We started growing to other college campuses. I remember borrowing this girl's car in my hall to go do these events at other campuses, that which sometimes would be like outside in courtyards or in classrooms where there wasn't class going on. And really, we would just had feet on the ground, and we're just getting ourselves out there. We're on Zoom calls every night, trainings, and I was really into self-education. I picked up the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, which entered me into the world of reading, which before that in high school and English classes, I was Spark Notes only. I never, I don't think
Mhm.
read any required books. But once I found the world of personal development and personal growth, I found meaning, and I was just became addicted. So really working on myself in the beginning and just getting ourselves out there. And then, like I said, ultimately that first company, I realized I didn't align with the integrity after just watching how some leaders conducted themselves, some people lying about their levels of income, flashing cars and jewelry to get people involved. And I just couldn't get behind that. But
Mhm.
meanwhile, I'd been watching my mom, who was building a network marketing business with a health and wellness company that we're partnered with now. And she was helping thousands of people lose weight, feel better, put on muscle, healthily age. And they were creating real income. My mom, who had never even went to college, a year and a half into the business, was on track to make six figures. So I knew that long term, I had to position myself with someone in a company that was going to be here for the long term, because we do this to build an asset. It's not about getting rich quick or making a ton of money quick. You want to build a residual income machine, basically. So I switched over with my mom. And now what we transferred into, we do a lot of events in person, social media, and branding ourselves on social media, and using attraction marketing has been huge. And just developing as a leader and uplifting and supporting other people, because really this business is about helping other people succeed. And when you help more and more people succeed and get what they want, then ultimately you end up getting what you want, because you've helped them, and everyone works as a team and benefits from each other. So a lot of just working with our leaders. We do calls every morning, 8:30 in the morning, just to kind of, I guess, rally the troops, so to say, like get everyone in a good headspace, work on our skills, work on just different areas you need to improve to succeed with this business.
Awesome. Awesome. So you wrote a book, and it's called Beyond the Class. So tell us more about your book.
Yeah, so the book, it's so cool to see it finally printed out, because I had the idea and I graduated from college in 2016. And as you guys could probably tell, I really didn't care that much about school after I became or developed an entrepreneurial mind. So I remember on graduation day, looking at my cap and gown on my bed, thinking to myself, like, not that it was a waste, but I realized that all the most importance I learned that helped me become to the level of success I was at the time came from lessons outside of school and traditional schooling. And I thought back to like learning about rejection and how to deal with rejection and getting out of your comfort zone, and how to just grow and personal development. All of these things I learned that helped me get to where I was came from outside of traditional school. So that's when the idea sparked. I even created this Word document, titled it Beyond the Classroom, with all my ideas. And I just kept putting it on the back burner because I was overwhelmed by the project at hand. I didn't really know how I wanted to bring it to the world. And after Italy, I lived in California. Then I came back, and I've been in Manhattan the past year. And moving into Manhattan, this idea was still just festering. And I took like 4 or 5 stabs at it, and that ultimately kind of just fizzled off. And two things happened for me. I remember speaking at an event, and instead of doing like a traditional training like I normally do, like different skills or whatever, I just shared my story for 30 minutes. I got up there and shared my story, and got the best feedback I've ever gotten at an event. People coming up wanting to hear more. They were so moved and inspired. And I was like, huh. And then I remember reading the book, The Third Door by Alex Banayan, which is just a story. And I remember I couldn't put the book down. I put it down to go to the bathroom. I read it otherwise in one sitting. And I thought back, I'm like, why did this book capture me so much? And it was because it was such a well-told story with so many relatable mini stories throughout it. And it captured me. And then I realized that this book needs to be a story.
Mm-hmm.
And what I shared with you, much more in depth, from getting kicked out of school, not being able to afford college, all my dorm room business ventures, living overseas in Italy, which over there I got into some awesome different ventures as well. And then just my ultimate success with my network marketing business. I just shared the story and all of the most important lessons I learned along the way that came from outside of traditional school. Because I just felt like there were three goals with it. The first was to inspire people to take action on what their gut tells them is right. You know, there's so many people who want to start a business or start a podcast or start a fitness journey, whatever it might be, and they don't do it. And people just feel like the only way to succeed is going down this traditional route we're taught by society. Go to school, get good grades, get a good degree, get a good job, work for 40 years, retire, enjoy. And I just wanted to inspire people to take action on what that feeling is, but also shift their perspective to really like what's possible in this world. We are in complete control, and we decide what we want to be and want to do. So inspire, shift perspective, and then entertain them, because the journey was pretty wild. There's a lot of crazy stories along the way, and I just wanted to create a platform for younger people to kind of see what's possible in this world.
Awesome. So speaking on that, like what advice would you give young adults today who would like to become entrepreneurs, who had like a rough time during their, childhood, that still wants to be entrepreneurs? What advice would you give them?
Yeah. And you'll hear a lot of top people say this, but like I said before, I feel like the adversities are such a flame for success and can fuel that fire if you harness it properly. If you play the victim, then it's going to hold you back. But if you look at your adversities and challenges you went through, and most of us have gone through them, different intensities for everyone. But like, for example, me getting expelled, that could have been a moment for me to be like, I'm a failure. I'm not going to amount to anything, and thrown in the towel. But instead, I use that as the flame to go out there and become successful. So you can use that. And at first, I think it's fine for it to be selfish motives if you want to show the world that you have what it takes to be successful, as long as it's going to get you in action and going after it. So I think first, getting clear on that why and what you're in it for. And it can be because of your adversities. It can be because you grew up broke and you don't want to face the same future for yourself and your future family. And then from there, I don't think anyone knows exactly what their passions are until they go out there and try things. So once you kind of put it out there to the universe that you're going to make this happen and you know why, then the right pieces start to fall into place. But it's up to you to kind of take those opportunities as you go and just find your way. I've tried so many different things, and throughout the process, I've learned things I don't like. I've learned things that are strengths and that I do like. And you kind of just hone in on what your ultimate craft is going to be from there. So get out there and just try things and use those adversities to your advantage instead of using them to play the victim.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, John, for coming on, sharing your story with us. Tell our listeners how they can get in contact with you, and I'm going to share your social media handles.
Awesome. Yeah. Um, so the best place to follow me is on Instagram at John Stankiewicz. My website is beyondtheclassroombook.com. My book is available on Amazon, and I actually just launched a podcast, the Unconventional Education Show, where we just talk about mindset, entrepreneurship, and life experiences to help people level up and become the best version of themselves. So all of those platforms you can find me at. And if you follow me on Instagram, shoot me a DM. Love to connect with new people.
Awesome. And if you want to get in contact with me, my number is 910-317-0396. You can reach me by my email contact at mjfinancial.biz. You can schedule a consultation on the website, www.mjfinancial.biz. And you can also find this episode on Anchor, you guys. And you can also find this video on the YouTube channel for M&J Financial Management. So thank you once again, John, for coming on the show. I appreciate you sharing your journey with us.
Absolutely. I appreciate you as well. And this was awesome.
Thank you. I look forward to having you back on the show.
Absolutely. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. And all right, you guys, we will see you on the next episode of Tips with T.